Israel continues to attack sites across Iran today, and an appeals court has blocked a judge's earlier ruling. It allows President Trump to continue to command the California National Guard for now. Good morning. I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. Israel continues to launch significant military strikes against Iran today. These began overnight, targeting Iranian nuclear enrichment facilities. 3 top Iranian generals have also been killed. Iran has fired scores of drones back at Israel. There are no reports of damage in Israel. President Trump is urging Iran to make a deal on its nuclear program after the Israeli attacks. As NPR's Franco Ordonez reports, Trump says that he warned Iran that it will, quote, only get worse.
In his first comments since Israel launched strikes on Iranian nuclear and military sites, Trump took to social media where he said he told Tehran to, quote, make a deal before there is nothing left. Israel launched airstrikes into Iran Friday, killing top Iranian military leaders and nuclear scientists. The attacks targeting Iran's nuclear program are considered the biggest in decades and raise concerns of leading to a deadlier conflict. Trump told followers that he gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal on its nuclear program and warned that the alternative would be, quote, much worse than anything they know, anticipated, or were told. Franco Ordonez, NPR News.
241 people perished yesterday aboard the Air India plane in western India when it crashed. Several people who were on the ground were also killed. However, one British male passenger survived the crash. The BBC has spoken to his cousin, as NPR's Lauren Freyer reports from London.
Speaking to the BBC outside his home in Leicester in the British Midlands, Ajay Valgi says 2 of his cousins were on the Air India flight that crashed just after takeoff in western India. One of them, Vishwas Kumar Ramesh, managed to climb out of the wreckage and call his family in Britain.
He only said that he's fine, nothing else.
He just said he's fine, his cousin says, and that he was still searching for his brother who'd been in the seat next to him. From his hospital bed, Ramesh told an Indian newspaper that, quote, 30 seconds after takeoff, there was a loud noise and the plane crashed. There were bodies all around me. I was scared. I stood up and ran, he was quoted as saying. Lauren Freyer, NPR News, London.
President Trump continues to retain the power to put National Guard troops in Los Angeles. He deployed the military to support immigration enforcement actions. California officials sued him, and a federal district court judge agreed, thus blocking Trump. But later, a federal appeals court stepped in, blocking the lower court order and restoring the power to the president. From Los Angeles, Steve Futterman explains how the case started.
Earlier, District Judge Charles Breyer ruled that control of National Guard troops in Los Angeles must revert back to California Governor Gavin Newsom. The order was set to take effect at noon, but the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals issued a stay, delaying the order so it can review the case. In his ruling, Breyer said Trump's actions were illegal, exceeding his authority. Newsom says he expects the ruling to be upheld.
We push back against overreach. We push back against these authoritarian tendencies.
Trump claimed his action was legal because he was trying to suppress a rebellion. The judge had rejected the argument, saying the protests in L.A. fall far short of a rebellion. For NPR News, I'm Steve Futterman in Los Angeles.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem blames California Senator Alex Padilla for interrupting her news conference yesterday. She and Padilla were both in the same building in Los Angeles. She was talking about immigration raids. Padilla said he moved toward Noem to ask a question when he was forcibly removed from the room by federal agents, forced to the ground, and then handcuffed. Padilla had a warning.
If this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks, to day laborers.
But Secretary Noem says it was Senator Padilla who lunged toward her during the news conference. She says he never identified himself. Several recordings of the incident show Padilla identifying himself in the room before he is taken away. An immigrant wrongly deported from the United States to El Salvador months ago is due in court today in the U.S. The arraignment of Kilmar Abrego Garcia comes more than a month after the U.S. Supreme Court ordered President Trump to facilitate his return. From member station WPLN, Mariana Bacallao has more.
Prosecutors say that Kilmar Abrego Garcia is a member of the MS-13 gang, and that for the past 11 years, he's been moving people without legal status from Texas to Maryland. Garcia's attorney has said he's skeptical of the charges, as his client's wrongful deportation has sparked criticism of the Trump administration's immigration policy. Garcia will be arraigned in Nashville because his charges stem from a 2022 traffic stop by the Tennessee Highway Patrol. For NPR News, I'm Mariana Baca-Yao in Nashville.
The U.S. will celebrate the anniversary of the U.S. Army tomorrow with a massive parade in Washington, D.C. It's also President Trump's birthday tomorrow. NPR's Windsor Johnston reports some defense experts worry that could blur a line between patriotism and politics.
While the event is officially billed as a celebration of the military's 250th anniversary, some experts say the optics are complicated by its timing. Yvonne Chu is a professor at the Naval War College. She says holding the parade on the president's 79th birthday has raised some questions.
It is bad optics at best, especially if you were really interested in promoting the military and reinforcing patriotism, that he could choose July 4th. It is 3 weeks later. It is a much more obvious date.
The White House and supporters of the administration say they see the parade as a tribute to the nation's armed forces. Windsor Johnston, NPR News, Washington.
The New York sexual assault trial against former Hollywood movie producer Harvey Weinstein has ended with a mixed outcome. Ilya Meritz reports Weinstein was convicted on one count, acquitted on another, and a mistrial has been declared on a third charge.
The mistrial was on the count of rape in the third degree. In his first trial in 2020, Weinstein was convicted of the same charge, but this time the fractious jury could not reach a verdict. The jury foreman told the court he felt physically unsafe. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg said he is ready to try Weinstein again on the rape charge. A Weinstein spokesman wrote in a statement, quote, "We are left with a single conviction, one we firmly believe will not stand due to gross juror misconduct. Weinstein's first New York conviction was overturned last year on procedural grounds. He also has a sex crimes conviction in California." For NPR News, I'm Ilya Meritz.
I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News from Washington.